Aaron Rodgers.
Dan, slow now, but won't be slow for long. We are 11 days away from the time that the Packers and Aaron Rodgers are scheduled to report to training camp. That gives both sides 11 days to figure out whether there's some sort of compromise to bring Aaron Rodgers back to Green Bay in time for training camp. Hard to imagine he shows up there under the current deal, but money is not the issue in this particular case, as we know. And there's a similar storyline unfolding in Houston, albeit for much different circumstances. Will Deshaun Watson be there for the start of training camp? I think the feeling around the league is no. The question is, how will he not be there, and when and if the Houston Texans will move on from him? There is an expectation that Deshaun Watson has played his last down in Houston. And meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Times reported that Tom Brady played last season with a torn MCL, which makes the legend grow that much more impressive. As if everything he's done on the football field isn't impressive enough, well, he played through an injury, helped lead Tampa to a Super Bowl title, and did it hobbled the entire time. And a lot of people wondering why he wasn't on the injury report. The fact of the matter is, the Buccaneers didn't know that he had the injury that he did. He took every snap in every practice, didn't miss any practice time, so he just did it with a torn MCL, Dan.
Yeah, unbelievable. As you say, the legend grows. 43-year-old Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl on one good leg. Mina Kimes, how do you think other teams feel when they hear that?
Not great, Dan, because as you said, not only did they lose to a 43-year-old man, they lost to a 43-year-old man playing through injury, which is humiliating. And then going forward, I actually believe this Bucs offense is going to be even better this season. They really didn't hit their stride until later in the year and then into the postseason once the offense really started, I would say, shaping itself around what Brady does best, incorporating more play action, pre-snap motion. The skill players all come back. They added Giovanni Bernard to the mix, which I thought was a fantastic pickup. And the offensive line is, again, healthy and returning, with Tristan Wirfs, who was a rookie last year, likely taking another step forward. So you look at all of that and you say, oh, yeah, and Tom Brady, the guy who beat us last season, he's fully healthy this year? That's a nightmare for every team around the NFL.
Well, listen, Mina, you are absolutely right, but we know expectations for Tom Brady is always Super Bowl. Now everyone else plays under the microscope. We're not talking about Tampa winning the NFC or their division. We're talking about them repeating as Super Bowl champions. So the pressure is on, and we all know it's much more difficult to get there. This team is built the right way, right? And as much as we talk about Brady and the legend grows, this team is built up front at the line of scrimmage. Defensively, they are as good as anybody in this league and young and returned everybody. So look, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it will be tougher for you guys. The Saints beat them twice in the division last year. Obviously, Drew Brees is gone. Carolina is expected to be a better football team. Atlanta plays Jekyll and Hyde, but they've hired Arthur Smith. Hopefully things can get turned around there. They have a tremendous amount of talent as well. When the Super Bowl is the expectation, and I say it with so much emphasis because last year we didn't know. We didn't know without a season. We didn't know with Tom Brady coming over brand new. They were adding pieces, trying to figure things out. Teams know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now, and they also know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as Super Bowl champions, and everyone has made moves to try to get better, not only in their division, but on this side of the conference. So we'll see how it goes. That's why it's so much more difficult to get there a second year, which is why it's been so impressive what the Chiefs has done.
You know, normally Marcus would talk about. So go on, Mina. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. It's just remarkable that they were able to retain all of their talent. And I think it speaks to, again, the GMing of Jason Light and company, and also some of the contracts taken by these players who did choose to come back and not test the market. Now, we are going to talk about the players who are playing out this year on the tag. Chris Godwin comes to mind. There is some urgency to take advantage of the roster they do have in place. But again, the fact that they return the entire roster, like we talk a lot about how difficult it is to get back to the Super Bowl, but very few teams are able to also bring everybody back in the same way, and that's what's so rare about this Bucs team.
And it's a big deal, too, because you talk about the group around Tom Brady. You talk about his protection up front. Marcus talking about, winning the game in the trenches. They definitely did that. Last season, Brady was pressured on just 17% of his dropbacks. Now, that's the second lowest rate in the NFL. Only Ben Roethlisberger was pressured less on a percentage basis. However, when he did face pressure, Tom Brady I'm talking about, he completed just 35% of his passes. That's bad. The only quarterbacks with a worse such completion percentage were Sam Darnold and Dwayne Haskins. That is not a list on which we're used to seeing Tom Brady. So this is a guy who, look, it's no insult to Tom Brady to say, and he would probably admit it, he needs his offensive line to be good in order for him to be successful, in order for the team to be successful. So it got me thinking, Marcus, is there another quarterback you can think of that when you say this guy really needs his offensive line or else he's in big trouble?
Hell yeah, Dan Gia. That's why I'm glad you asked. It's Ben Roethlisberger. Listen, Mina thinks Ben is done. I'm just playing, Mina. I'm going to pull back. I know you hate when people come in your DMs. But here's the deal. It's not only about Ben's protection when he's dropping back to pass. Ben also needs his offensive line to be good so they can run the football and not ask him to throw 30, 35, 40, 50 passes a game. In totality, this offensive line needs to be better because the offense needs to be more balanced. We saw last year when everybody caught up with the Steelers, the offensive line is as important to Ben as it is to Tom Brady.
Yeah, well, my DMs are closed, so I'm good, Marcus. But the name that comes to mind for me is the rookie quarterback, Mac Jones. This is something we talked about pre-draft, how to evaluate him and compare him to some of the other quarterbacks in this draft. Really all of them, frankly, taken in the first round because he is such a prototypical pocket passer, played in such a good situation at Alabama. He is not going to create and get out of the pocket. And same way, not unlike Brady himself. Fortunately for Mac, regardless of when he starts, he ended up on a team in New England with a fantastic offensive line. It really couldn't be a better spot for the young passer. So whenever he does play, he will be well protected, which is why I like that pick for him.
Jones, of course, now on Brady's former team. Brady's current team trying to win back-to-back Super Bowls, something no one's done in 17 years. Guess who the quarterback was the last time it happened? Yes, it was Tom Brady of the 2003-2004 New England Patriots. Meanwhile, we continue to follow a serious story involving free agent cornerback Richard Sherman, who was arrested earlier this week after an incident at his in-laws' house. Adam Schefter rejoins us now to give us the latest on the Richard Sherman story. Adam, what more can you tell us?
Dan, free agent cornerback Richard Sherman is facing 5 misdemeanor charges stemming from his arrest at his in-laws' house northeast of Seattle earlier this week. The charges include 2 domestic violence counts, criminal trespass in the 2nd degree, malicious mischief in the 3rd degree, along with resisting arrest, driving while under the influence, and reckless endangerment of roadway workers. The charges are all misdemeanors, punishable by up to 90 days in jail, or gross misdemeanors punishable by up to 1 year in jail. And earlier today, Richard Sherman posted this statement on Twitter. I'm deeply remorseful for my actions on Tuesday night. I behaved in a manner I'm not proud of. I have been dealing with some personal challenges over the last several months, but that's not an excuse for how I acted. The importance of mental and emotional health is extremely real, and I vow to get the help I need. I appreciate all the people who have reached out in support of me and my family, including our community here in Seattle. I'm grateful to have such an amazing wife, family, and support system to lean on during this time. And obviously, this will be an unfolding story. We will track how it continues to go. But that is the latest developments, 5 misdemeanor charges handed down today against Richard Sherman.
That's the latest from Adam. Thank you, Adam. Marcus, your thoughts when you hear about this story?
Yeah, Shefty, listen, man, when the reports were coming out, Shefty and Dan, I wanted to wait and kind of figure this out because I've had a chance to meet Richard Sherman. I've had a chance to meet a lot of people that know him and that are close to him, and it just seems so out of character when it came. But the thing that I wanted to say, one, I'm glad he made that statement and talked about